The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 3rd, 2019. This is episode 133. 1,000-year-old man in Facecoin. My name's Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about weird, crazy news about tomorrow. Today on the podcast.
That's not the line,
yeah,
but that's okay.
Enough.
You're experimenting. We're all experimenting
I like
today.
to break free.
Yeah.
I don't like to repeat myself over and over.
Well, that's kind of what we do every week. But Gonz, you were in full dad mode earlier. There are some kids running amok in your area.
Yeah, unfortunately, our little condo thing here is right by the jacuzzi, and some rowdy teens were throwing chairs into the hot tub there in the pool and stuff. So.
That's right, folks. Breaking news. Grumpy dad bothered by youthful fun.
You know the first thought I had?
No.
I'm for the robots.
If they'll just come out and destroy them, it'd be great.
Oh, okay. All right. We see what it takes. Well, Gonz, let's start out with the Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. This is from zdnet.com. Google's banana throwing robot is highly accurate. That's right. Flippy, our disembodied robot arm friend, has now he's getting bored with cooking our food and serving our coffee and feeding us the pap, and now he's taken up a hobby of throwing bananas. The ability to throw objects accurately offers all kinds of advantages. Tossing is an efficient way to move an object without engaging your whole body, for example. You can reach places you couldn't easily get to, as exemplified when tossing a set of keys from an apartment balcony to a friend on the street. And tossing objects is usually a quicker way to move them than carrying them. That is the strongest argument for throwing things that I've ever heard.
It is pretty good. I'm convinced.
Speaking of teens throwing chairs in hot tubs, quote, "If you could get a robot arm to do that well," says Andy Zhang, a student researcher at Google, "that would make it much more versatile in the things it can do." This is a pretty long article. Basically, they got a Flippy to throw robots pretty good. So
you mean Flippy to throw bananas?
What did I say?
Flippy to throw robots, which is
That's
probably
what's
a
coming
future.
Next.
Yeah. It's coming later, but right now it's just bananas.
Yeah, he's throwing bananas, which is kind of a weird object, but he's doing good. So good job, Flip. You've taken up a new hobby, and soon when our robot overlords take over, banana throwing will be the newest craze.
I want to know, last week we talked about the robot, or maybe it was the week before, Flippy, picking up shoes and learning how to pick up brand new shoes that he's never seen before. Yeah, I wonder if that's applied to the banana,
Absolutely.
It is?
No, I have no idea.
They need to collaborate.
They just trained him just on the banana. One more short little, not quite a Flippy update, but just a robot update. I wanted to, and another career advice I have to give to the kids. This is on apnews.com. No AI in humor. R2-D2 walks into a bar, doesn't get the joke. Washington. A robot walks into a bar. It goes clang. Alexa and Siri can tell jokes mined from a humor database, but they don't get them. Linguists and computer scientists say this is something to consider on April Fool's Day. Humor is what makes humans special.
Yay.
When people try to teach machines what's funny, the results are at times laughable, but not in the way intended. Quote, "Artificial intelligence will never get jokes like humans do," said Kiki Hempelman, a computational linguist who studies humor at Texas A&M University Commerce. Quote, "In themselves, they have no need for humor. They miss completely context." That is the correct reading of that sentence. They miss completely context.
Is that really?
And when it, yep. That's what it says. And when it comes to humor, the people who study it, sometimes until all laughs are beaten out of it, say context is key. Even expert linguists have trouble explaining humor, said Tristan Miller, a computer scientist and linguist at Darmstadt University of Technology in Germany. I like how they have all these computer nerds, computer scientists talking about humor. Not that I know any better, really. Anyways, it's a whole long article about how robots will never get jokes and they'll never be able to tell jokes. So kids, in the past, I've told you if you want a stable job prospect, you got to become a blockchain engineer. That has now moved down the list to number 2. Number 1, just become a comedian. Robots can never take your jobs.
Here's something. Number 1, try to be a clean comedian, which is incredibly difficult. I would actually no, you don't necessarily have to do that, but
okay.
I'm always very proud of the clean comedians. It makes me laugh.
There you go.
But the quote here of the guy Tristan Miller that you mentioned here, he has a quote: "Creative language and humor in particular is one of the hardest areas for computational intelligence to grasp," said Miller, who has analyzed more than 10,000 puns and called it torture. He called
true.
Analyzing 10,000 puns torture. So interesting.
It is torture. Puns, the lowest form of comedy. I'm sorry, pun fans. But I just can't do it.
It's interesting how in a human, we try to revert, downgrade ourselves, I guess, to the mind of a simple AI, and try to analyze the puns. But, we consider that torture.
Yeah, there you go.
Weird.
Well, it is. I stick by my comment, and I stick by suggesting that all you kids out there try to be professional comedians. And to all the parents, I'm sorry.
And at the end, they actually quoted a bishop in the article too. And at the very end,
the funniest of all humans.
The funniest of all humans, a bishop. And then at the end, it says, quote, "I don't think it's because AI is getting smarter. If the AI gets that, I think we have a problem." The bishop joked. She joked. That was her punchline.
She's not a bishop. Her name is Bishop Gons.
No, this person is a bishop.
Also, girls can't be bishops in the Catholic Church. Anyways, okay. The bishop named Bishop.
The bishop named Bishop.
Gons, tell me about the beast system, buddy.
The beast system.
Speaking of the beast system. Beast system.
Oh, let's see. Microsoft. This is singularityhub.com. Microsoft is building an all-in-one DNA data storage device. And it says the modern world is facing a tsunami of data. DNA is emerging as an ultra-compact way of storing it all. And now researchers supported by Microsoft have created the first system that can automatically translate digital information into genetic code and retrieve it again. Now, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we've kind of been following this story, so this is a little bit of an update where you can store information using DNA, utilizing CRISPR technology.
Yes, but there's there's always some interesting little gems in here. In 2018, we created 33 zettabytes.
Woo!
That's 33 trillion gigabytes of data. Why 33? Because we're occultists.
That's not what it says.
No. 33 trillion gigabytes of data, according to analysts at IDC, and they predict that by 2025, that figure will rise to 175 zettabytes. It's been estimated that if we were to store all of our information in flash drives by 2040, it would require 10 to 100 times the global supply of chip-grade silicon. DNA, on the other hand, is so compact it could shrink a data center to the size of a few dice. But for that to become practical, we need a DNA-based equivalent of a hard drive that lets you upload and download data in a simple and intuitive way. Basil, I don't feel comfortable about information storage in DNA. I don't know about you.
No, and just to catch people up, if people haven't followed this story along with us, scientists have been working on storing DNA using organic DNA materials. So as of now, we store things on hard drives and flash drives and a couple of the other different things, but they're all robots. They're all robots out to get us, made of silicon and metal. And now they've found a way using the CRISPR technology, that's the DNA gene editing technology, to actually use organic material to store information. I'm not really up on how they read that information.
Well, I think that's what they're developing. That's what Microsoft is helping to develop.
I mean, you can read the information, but it's very slow and very arduous. Wouldn't really work right now in computers. But sounds like they're doing it, and they landed on a nice 33 zettabytes for us.
Yeah. It says, but DNA tech is moving quickly. Sequencing the first human genome cost $2.7 billion and took 15 years, but just 20 years later, private companies will do it for under $1,000 in a matter of weeks. And Microsoft isn't the only company working on DNA storage. Intel, Micron are also funding research. And last year, MIT's spin-off Catalog revealed they are building a machine the size of a couple of shipping containers that will be able to write a terabit of data into DNA per day sometime this year. You know what we need, Basil, is we've talked about having a DNA jingle, and we were going to do it in the form of a AC/DC song called TNT, and we were going to do it DNA. And we tried it a couple times, but our voices weren't really cutting it when we tried it. But maybe that's something we need to work on.
I don't remember this, but I believe you.
You don't
maybe
remember
we need to put a call out for some jingles.
Well, if anyone can do the AC/DC high pitch, I don't want to do it right now because I got babies sleeping. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we are all familiar with the song. TNT.
TNT, DNA.
It's dynamite.
Yep. It's dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
make it happen, jingle monsters.
Make it happen, people.
Okay.
So there you go. DNA storage.
The little DNA storage update. Okay, Gonzo, are you ready to jump into one of our bigger stories today?
Yeah, here we go.
Blockchain.
That's right. Blockchain. CCN.com. Facebook's cryptocurrency won't let you buy your privacy back. And I love this. They've got a great, really a great picture of Zuckerberg laughing his head off. Up at the top of this
flattering image of him.
Oh, so
mouth
flattering.
Open. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I've never seen a robot replicate joy like that before. All right. Facebook is moving into cryptocurrency, aiming to create some types. So, by the way, we've mentioned this before. This is actually a very interesting update. We talk about cryptocurrency. Yeah. Not so much recently, but we've done it in the past. And of course, Facebook is trying to jump in on the game here.
Yeah.
Facebook is moving into cryptocurrency, aiming to create some type of stable coin. That's a coin that does not have fluctuating value. That will make it possible for users within its gargantuan network to transfer value to each other. Why Facebook doesn't simply use an existing cryptocurrency is, of course, a mystery.
Because they want to take over, that's why.
Perhaps it fears to open the minds of users too much. From cryptocurrency, they might graduate to better social media platforms like Minds.com. A little plug for Minds.com.
Not a bad platform, but it's still a little janky, I would say.
Yeah. Check it out, people. Let us know.
Yeah.
What will the real value of another token pegged to the US dollar be to the crypto community? We can assume that over such a broad swath of users, the thing is bound to see some real utility. We can expect the same for Telegram, who've decided to build a blockchain from scratch, something to compete in the ever-deepening sea of smart contract platforms like Tron and Cardano. They're really just plugging a lot of different blockchain companies.
Yeah, Telegram raised like $2 billion in their I guess it was a semi-ICO type thing last year. That was a lot of money they raised.
Could have been us, baby. But
nope.
If the coin is just issued by Facebook at its discretion without any real decentralized governance, does it even qualify as a cryptocurrency? That much is debatable. We've talked about the properties of cryptocurrency and why JP Morgan's internal stablecoin just doesn't fit the bill. There is some delineation, too, between algorithmic stablecoins like MakerDAO's DAI.
Let's make her DAO.
Yeah, I like to pronounce all the capital letters, which is a collateralized asset in pegged currencies like Paxos Standard. The DAI essentially relies on the market to determine the validity of its tokens. Coins are backed by at least 150% their value in Ethereum, which provides a pretty good cushion to ensure liquidity. That's a bunch of fancy crypto talk, by the way.
I've actually looked into MakerDAO. It's very complex, but I understand why kind of they do it. It's it's collateral. It's what they said, collateralized asset pegged to.
Yeah, more crypto mumbo jumbo
more
guns.
Crypto stuff. Yep.
Okay. LOL, Zuckerbucks. As Minds.com CEO Bill Ottman has said, it's fabulous that Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, proprietors of the tools of mass distraction for a whole generation, are interested in sound money. It's good that they're investing resources into blockchain technologies, but if they don't walk the walk, why should we listen to them talk? The name Jack Dorsey has gone parabolic in crypto circles recently due to his participation in the Lightning Network Torch event and friendship with Elizabeth Stark. Dorsey still supports censoring unpopular speech, though, which Bitcoin and cypherpunks as a whole despise. Typically, we understand that censorship is at least effective tool for effective tool for any debate. In too many cases, it provides undue interest and influence to the censored. Most of those trolls banned from Twitter are, in fact, disgusting people, but now really going at it.
Really siding with
but now they're all shacked up at Gab with fewer and fewer people to call them on their expletive. But Twitter gets it wrong from time to time. See the whole, they're just throwing me to other articles, man. Tell me about Facebook's crypto plans are still pretty unclear. One thing is for certain, the blockchain can be used for anything at all. It can be used to increase personal freedom or take it away. Dun, dun, dun. Nice. Blockchains store value, track supply chains, and enable tamper-resistant voting. The technology can probably also be used to successfully launch an uncontrollable version of Skynet. Facebook coin. Here's a thought, though. If you think chain analytical tools are scary, imagine what a cryptocurrency built by Facebook might reveal. If it knows, for example, that you held the token, and then someone else held it, and then someone in Iran managed to hold it, would that trace back to you? How much user data will be present in these tokens? Will they have a prayer of being fungible or tradable on regular crypto exchanges? Whatever they do, the blockchain natives will continue to do better. That's my opinion until I see evidence otherwise. Facebook should just create an open money API and let the various players in the blockchain space compete for dominance on it. They'd probably make more money that way and have less need for blockchain engineers. So, long story short here, folks, Facebook is getting into the crypto game. They are making a Facebook coin, which we are just for now calling Facecoin because it's a bad name. And, I don't know if Zuckerberg's creatives have gotten on the job yet. But they're talking about making it something called a stable coin, which I mentioned before, will be tied to the US dollar. Now, what does this mean for you? This means that you can purchase these stable coins, presumably through a Facebook interface, and then you have some money that you can just kind of move around Facebook wherever you want. You can send it to your friends. You can use it on the Facebook marketplace. Probably buy some ads. Maybe, I don't know.
Tip a friend. Instead of a thumbs up or a like, give him a little Zucker dollar or whatever it was. Zuckerbuck. Yeah.
You can tip your favorite podcasters. But the problem they bring up here is by the very nature, all of these blockchain-enabled cryptocurrencies are traceable from their inception until
transaction.
Eternity. Yeah. So you can actually trace one Facecoin that you purchase, and you can trace it, maybe you hand it off to somebody, they hand it off to somebody, all the way until eternity. And this has a lot of problems for privacy, which Zuckerberg obviously has no regard for, no matter how much he talks about encrypting your messages end to end. Look, Zuck, we're not afraid of other people reading our Facebook messages. We're afraid of you. And we're not afraid of other people doing stuff with our money. We're afraid of you tracking it. And so anyways, this is just another way that Facebook is attempting to not just track everything you do, but if you take a big, wide picture of this, they would be able to track the ripple effects of what you do.
Yeah.
So say you know, whatever, tip your favorite podcasters. Well, not only can they say, well, these guys, this Mr. Dan from Ohio has a pretty weird taste in podcasts, but also because he tipped these podcasters and those podcasters bought a robotic arm from this guy in Iran, and this guy in Iran bought this thing from this guy in China, because you, Dan, tipped your favorite podcasters. Somebody in China is doing something nefarious with this crypto coin. And, you know, I don't know. Who knows what the implications of that will be? But knowing Zuckerberg is not going to be good for Dan from Ohio. Dan, I'm so sorry.
But Zuckerberg claims...
I am not capable of hatred.
It's true. He is purely logical. And now he knows that if he can freeze all of Dan from Ohio's assets, that, he can... It really, what it is an economic practice in the butterfly effect.
Yeah. I mean, they want to create... They want to house their own monetary ecosystem, basically. And
that's the thing with a network as big as Facebook. You know, there's a lot of talk about replacing fiat currency, for instance, the dollar, when it comes to cryptocurrency. And, the problem is adoption. That's the number one problem with replacing
at the moment.
Fiat currency. Yeah, at the moment. But sorry. Ooh, I had a little burp there. The old podcast burp. The problem is if you activate, your billions of users on Facebook, and even, a percentage of them, any substantial percentage of them adopt this Facecoin, that immediately becomes, one of the most widely used currencies in the history of Earth, not just, currently on the planet. So there's a lot of potential here for this to get way out of hand.
Well, you were debating with me before we started the recording here because I was bringing up.
I wasn't debating. I was being obstinate.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Basically, there was a headline going around, or just a sentiment going around that Facebook was going to try to replace the U.S. dollar with their Facebook stablecoin. And it originated with Kik's CEO, which is a messaging app called named, not called, or maybe they are just robots called human names. Ted Livingston, he came out and said, quote, WeChat allowed people to take their money out at any time, but they also added more and more reasons for people to keep their money inside, paying hydro bills, buying food, booking vacations, and more. Soon, no one was taking their money out. And then he goes on, instead of working with regulators like WeChat did in China, Facebook can roll out a global financial system without needing to go through the time-intensive process of working with banking regulators country by country. Mm-hmm. And then he also said new ways of spending money through the app will become simpler and more powerful than the previous alternatives. Soon, there will be no reason for anyone to take their money out. And the thing that's really, fascinating about just generally about the stable coin, and then why Facebook wants to get into it. We talk about the dollar, and it's backed by nothing. It's just, the central banks just printing dollars, from here to eternity. But it's just crazy that we're at this point where it's like, oh, everyone's talking about cryptos. Well, what do we do? Well, let's just make the crypto dollar. But then every company can do it under their own desire. And this is just, Zuckerberg using his, I don't know, genius, I guess, or his evil mind or whatever, using the effects of blockchain technology and the potential positives of it, and flipping it on its head, completely using it for the wrong reasons, which was always kind of the fear too. People always talked about hey, everything can be tracked in this system, although there are privacy layers being created and whatnot. But given in the Facebook ecosystem, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of privacy going on there.
There you go.
Once you're in but there you go. They're making stable coins pinned to the dollar, which is backed by nothing.
There you go.
They're just printing more money.
Preach it, brother. Hit me with that new jingle.
Blockchain.
That's not the new jingle. We're just wrapping up the blockchain talk. This is the new jingle.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Yeah, so good.
Fox News. Someone alive today will live to be 1,000 years old. Incendiary tech honcho claims. Someone alive on Earth today will reach the ripe old age of 1,000. That's according to one prominent British scientist who is determined to hack human mortality by finding a scientific answer to the fountain of youth. Dr. Aubrey de Grey, well, we're familiar with him, an anti-aging expert based in the U.S., reckons new biotech will help us live centuries longer. It's extraordinary to me that such an incendiary claim. It's extraordinary to me that it's such an incendiary claim, Dr. de Grey, 55, told The Week. His team at the SENS Research Foundation in California's Silicon Valley are developing techniques to fix the ways your body breaks down in your later years. That includes removing junk from inside your cells that accumulates naturally as you age, as well as removing bad or damaged cells. Treatments would involve biohacking, editing your cells or DNA to make permanent changes to your body. Injections or swallowed medicine would warp your genes in an attempt to turn off mechanisms that cause you to age, extending your life well beyond what nature intended or what God limited us to post-flood. The SENS Foundation's work has piqued the interest of Google's founder, Peter Thiel, who is helping to bankroll its research. And according to Dr. de Grey, the biggest obstacle going forward is the general public.
We're such an obstacle.
We're horrible, especially according to Fox.
We need to make everyone live forever. Now, if only they would stop getting in our way.
We're trying to make you live longer. Why do you stop us? The London-born scientist says, quote, popular misunderstanding of the nature of the crusade threatens to hold back research as many people are opposed to the idea of human enhancement. But it's not just Joe Blogs he has to worry about. Hey now. I guess you and I are just Joe Blogs, Basil. Or Joe Pods.
I think that's an actual guy.
Is it really?
I mean, I don't know.
I think they're just talking about the regular,
it has
the regular
G's.
blogger. Yeah, it's true, but blogger or blogging has 2 G's.
Okay.
I don't know. You can look it up. Sorry if there's really a Joe Blogs out there that's really against living longer. Scientists opposed to the idea of biohacking have branded it rash and irresponsible as we don't know the long-term effects of treatments. Questions have also been raised over plausibility. University of Michigan professor Richard Miller told The Week that Dr. de Grey's lifespan goal is, quote, so far from plausible that it commands no respect at all within the informed scientific community. Now I kind of feel bad for him.
By the way, Joe Blogs dictionary definition: a name for a hypothetical average man.
There you go.
Yeah,
Not even a blogger.
Must be a kind of an older term that
Must
we're not
be.
familiar with.
We're so millennial.
I know. I feel like such a child now.
The oldest humans live around 120, but tech moguls with cash to burn have turned to bizarre treatments in a bid to solve the problem of death. Some pay thousands to inject themselves with stem cells, while others zap their brains with electricity. One gruesome scheme sees wealthy crackpots attempt to boost their lifespan by transfusing the blood of younger humans into their veins.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
That's very good.
Living in the days of Noah, Basil.
That's it. 1,000 years, baby. A fun note, FDA said putting the blood of younger humans in your veins is no longer approved.
That's right. We covered that story.
Yeah, keep that in mind. All
but
right.
There you go. Yeah.
Take us out, Gons.
Well, what are we doing?
We're continuing the show because it's almost over.
Oh, okay.
But as the days of Noah...
Oh, wrong one.
Nope.
Nephilim update.
I got
A little shaky with the jingle board today,
little
huh?
trigger happy. Yeah, I got to get used to the thing. All right, so Nephilim update. We always touch the Nephilim here. This is spinhunters.com, I think. Are the monsters connected to Jack now on Supernatural? And I just got to read a couple of these paragraphs, and that'll be
Supernatural.
the Nephilim update.
Okay.
Yeah, because the show Supernatural, we always kind of, we touch on it. But here we go. At the end of Ouroboros, Jack made the choice to finally use his Nephilim power and destroy Apocalypse Michael. Yes, it meant
Apocalypse Michael. Yeah. That's nice.
Yes, it meant burning off the majority of his soul, but he was able. He was also able to take in Michael's now unneeded grace. Great. We've got a powered up Nephilim again. Well, that's what it seems, but there's something about that grace that many people seem to have forgotten about. The super monsters. All those monsters were made with Michael's grace, and they were all connected to Michael. He was able to force them to turn and knew where they were and what they were doing. Interesting. The super monsters are likely connected to the grace instead of the archangel, since it was the grace that made them supers. So it suggests that they become connected to whichever angel, archangel, Nephilim that has the grace.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
Riveting. Well, everybody, if you want some more Canary Cry News Talk, you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT, where we're going to be posting another episode, our extended report this week. Again, that's patreon.com/CCNT if you just didn't get enough. And by the way, if you got friends who are still out there not listening to Canary Cry News Talk, grab them by the face, shake it real hard, rattle their cages, baby.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
Stop this progress before it is too late.
That's right, everybody. Make sure to tune in next week. But until then, think outside the cage.